biggest challenge, I think, with management and the owners of companies is to retrain themselves. So how would you suggest, older people such as myself? I'm 64 this year. So I've had decades of baked in practice. But I still run a company that runs completely remotely. So I learned to learn a little bit more about, I have changed. And I quite enjoy it, frankly. So how do management unlearn?
Yeah, this is one of the reasons I run my business the way I do. So I don't typically work with larger companies, and I don't typically work with older companies because because I don't want to spend time undoing like years and years of bad practice, bad habits, bad rituals, bad norms, bad behaviors. But I think the best way to do this is to look at the 9 best practices and go, okay, what's realistically the low-hanging fruit for our organization? What can I move the needle on? Because in most companies, these 9 are not being done well anyway. So if transparency is going to be a step too far for you at this stage, then I don't think you should go and throw everything open, because actually that may cause more disruption in your organization. And you need to, first of all, get your head around what transparency means and the levels of transparency you can go to, and then decide how you bring that across. Because some companies are fully transparent, like Buffer, where salaries are all structured and organized. But other companies say, if it's confidential and private to the individual, we don't share it. So salaries are not shared. And other companies, for example, will say, because we're across 5 continents, by law, we can't share certain things. So it really depends on your company and your organization. But the more you can share, the less people doubt you and the less people question you. And you don't want that. You want people to trust you, because they then will get on with what they need to do. You need to trust them. So I think if you look down those 9, you can start at the low-hanging fruit. For example, social connection feels like whatever, but actually it's a really critical piece, because people got social connection from the office, and that's no longer there, and they now are looking for some sort of connection. And the people who you think are the least likely to end up burning out or getting real anxiety and stress and mental issues, they're the ones who often are the ones very often likely to be affected by this. So building out your social connection and taking a team, building a committee and say, okay, what are we going to do on the ground here? Let's go and get people involved in this. And moving social connection on, just that demonstrates that you're aware, you're thinking about it, and it shows your people that you are adapting to the situation. If your head is in the sand and the wind is blowing, and the situation is what it is, and you're not adapting, your people are going, well, we signed this agreement to work for your company, but actually we have another agreement which is we didn't sign, but it's a intrinsic agreement that you would look after us, you would build a culture that we would want to work in. We made these assumptions about what you told us about working at your company, and so far you've delivered on them, but now our culture is changing and you're not adapting. Why? What's happening? Why are you not adapting to the fact that I'm working from home and I'm sharing a flat with 3 other people, and you don't realize that my situation is different now? You're not building the systems and the communication capabilities and the structural capabilities and the process communication capabilities for me to do my job. So that's really where leaders have to think about, what's the low-hanging fruit to get started with.
Yeah, that's some really good points there.